Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Welcome to a new week and the video of the week. This is your update to assignments and discussion questions and how to prepare for the work product to come. We are closing out week 2 or week 3, I should say, sorry. And this is your first assignment that you've done with your client. Now, I've heard from a few team members out there reaching out saying that folks are doing the work individually. That's not the framework of the assignment or the class. You are in a team from this point forward. You will submit work as a team. I've been mentioning this in all prior videos. It's also in the announcements. So you've got to be contacting your client. There are 3 clients that are being utilized this term. There's 3 teams. You got to work together. I cannot accept any individual work because this point forward it's all team. You're a consulting company that's working with a small business owner, helping them with their social media footprint. So please make sure you're very clear on that. I've talked to the project managers of each team, and they're excited to get underway. So making sure that you are communicating with your project manager. As a matter of fact, let's do this just to make sure we're all on the same page. We go back up to announcements, and if you go to new teams, here Melanie is the project manager for team 1, and they're working with a company that she works with, which is fine. Benjamin's the project manager of team 2, and they're working with Christina Cray and Tim Cray with Expert Power Wash. And then I believe Presley is the project manager for team 3, and they're working with Laura Jansen. Laura came and told me, and she already heard from some people or individuals who are trying to plan a meeting. She was very excited. So I really know for sure Team 3 is underway. Okay. So again, Melanie, Benjamin, and Presley. Very important though, they're not doing all the work. They're making sure that things get triaged. You make sure that everybody's participating. I will expect from each of these individuals of the team that's a PM to give me a report at the end of the week telling me how the team performed, did everybody work, who did, who didn't. And also you might not get a grade if you didn't work with your team. So you need to start communicating. Okay, I think that would help. That was helpful. Okay, now getting on with it. You are doing that social media audit. That's the first assessment you would do, even if you were in a professional space. You're looking at current state. I've been through the example. You know where the bar's at, and I look forward to seeing your first team assignment for chosen client. Also, I mentioned this, or I noticed this in other classes I've been teaching. Please make sure on your assignment that you submit, you have everybody's name on the assignment that worked on it. I didn't know that. I'm not clairvoyant. And the other really important thing is only 1 submission per team. I don't want duplicates or triplicates. That might become problematic. I don't want to deduct points because people are not following that instruction of just letting the project manager submit. Now we're coming into week 4. This is a heavy week, and this is where as a team, you need to figure out who's doing what and how you can pull all this off by the end of the week. Both discussion questions will help you with the assignments of the week. So the first one is Kyla. And she's talking about buyer personas and how you can create them quite easily on Canva. This is a great video, nice step by it. Also nice user guides. You need to figure out how to do a buyer persona for 2 people. I'm sorry, my dog just walked in, so if he starts barking, please give me a little grace there. But you are going to do 2 client personas for 2 different individuals that have a makeup of who would buy the product or service for the businesses you're working with. This video will give you everything you need to know, and I will also show you examples how to do a client persona in just a few minutes for what I'm looking for. The other assignment this week, and they are lockstep, you cannot do the client journey map unless you do the client personas. Those 2 client personas become your 2 client identifiers for your journey mapping. So now if we get down here, the other assignment or the other discussion question is Stephen Hooligan. And he's going to talk about client journey mapping. So both of these videos, even though they're discussion questions, you get points too, are critical to watch to get your work done. And client journey mapping is once you've identified certain personas, then you take them through the journey they would expect to experience to get the point of purchase and hopefully loyalty. When do they become aware of your business or the business you're working with? And then when do they move from awareness to consideration? They're now considering you maybe between 2 or 3 other options. And now they went to the decision of purchasing from you solely. What's the service experience? And then when do they become loyal or advocates? And I'll show you in just a few minutes, or right now I will, how that works. Okay, so first, what you really need to do in the creation of your work this week is do the client personas first. And here are some good persona examples. Here's Ruzo's Sparkling Cider Group working with Ruzo's last spring. It's coming up here. And what this team looked at, okay, customer personas, and they put them together. This was very cool. They put the journey map and the customer. You can do this too. For this week, you can wrap it all up in one document. So the first persona was Chloe Martin. This is the income level. These are, demographic stuff, preferred channels, more about, and usually each persona should have 2 pages. Some quotes, motivation and goals with Ruzo's challenges. The second persona they looked at was James Johnson. Same stuff, same categories, but just different information. And then the marketing strategy summation based off the 2 personas written above. They seem to have an average income and a healthy lifestyle, which aligns them perfectly with Ruzo's. So as they get into now the importance of customer personas and then the journey map. So they felt in their journey map, awareness was the first stage. And this is also important for you as a takeaway. Your 5 stages might be different for your business, and that's okay. And you'll see with some of the other examples how that differentiates. They thought awareness, consideration, purchase, engagement, and then renewal. They didn't see their customers becoming advocates, but they thought they would be more coming back and purchasing more often. So this was the first customer journey map, and this is the complexity of the customer journey map. They took that first Chloe and plugged Chloe through the whole process of awareness, phase 1, consideration, phase 2, and so forth. Superior document. And they did the same thing with James Johnson. That is now complete. This is a really nice document where they can show it to lenders, they can show it to business partners, strategic alliances, and so forth. Okay, now if we jump back out, the other one's Cascade Primary. And this is for a doctor's office. Obviously, it's going to be different than what you just saw there. So as this one comes up, I'll have another sip of coffee. Take a little bit. Okay, a little quiet here. A little break in the conversation. Okay, here we are. The 2 personas I looked at, Jake Thompson and Lisa Williams. About Jake, information similar to what you just viewed in the Ruzo's, motivations, challenges and goals. This team decided to go 3 pages. I liked it per persona because it's not as crammed in. It's not as cluttered. About Lisa, motivations, personal goals, and then marketing strategies. And then they use ChatGPT to do some of the work. That's really well done. Now, you'll see the importance. You already saw it in Ruzo's. But now once you have that information, I'll show you 2 more journey examples. Now you look at Cascade Direct. Let's look at them because you just looked at the personas. Now Cascade Direct looked at awareness, consideration, decision, service, and loyalty. Different than Ruzo's. Now they took Lisa Williams through each phase. So that's why it's so important. It is a stair step. Personas first, then journey mapping. You need to have personas before you do journey mapping. So they looked at awareness and users' actions during awareness, consideration, and so forth. What touch points is she experiencing? I like this one better because they identified the rows, pain points, solutions, what you've done as a business for our solution set. They did the same thing for Jake Thompson. Then one more, let's look at Laminate Bed and Breakfast. Now, this is what's really important about the difference. Awareness, consideration. Now, they have booking. Booking's different. They also have experience. Experience is different because it connects with their business model. And they took their two personas and created the same in kind. That's what you're doing this week. It is a lot of work, but you have a full team. And I've been teaching this class for about 7 years at CCC. I've seen it pulled off. So just start planning now. I've talked to a couple of project managers. The best thing to do is get your rough drafts done by Wednesday. So now you're not looking at rough draft work on Saturday and trying to crush things. Because remember, you're also working with a client. These are business professionals that have offered up their time to help you learn this important skill set, but also they're maybe looking at changing their marketing profile. So you want to represent well. And then going into week 5, you'll look at building a brand story and KPIs. So again, the pace is picking up. What I would really do, my recommendation, I said this in the first video, is sit down with your team and look at the entirety of the term. And look at all the assignments and how you're going to have maybe somebody on point for different ones. Everybody's going to be working on the assignments, but somebody's doing more of the heavy lifting to make sure it gets submitted or given to the project manager to submit. Okay? That'd be the best way to survive this class. Okay, folks, that's it for week 4. If you have any questions,